Good morning everybody, welcome back to a Chart Nerd Technical Analysis video. Today we will be discussing VELO, the ticker is VELO against USDT on the daily time frame. In my last video, I was discussing the potential of this double bottom where we had this low, we ran up to this key level of resistance, we had an A, B, C correction, back down to a higher low here, we built up a base, we came up to our key level of resistance at 0.011 and we broke above this level of resistance. Now in my last video, we was running into this 0.50 from our local low, retracing back to our 0.028 high. I said, hey look, we're running into this key level of resistance right here at 0.014. What we need to do now is pull back to the neckline of this double bottom pattern, look for a key level of support, build up a base here, and then look for the breakout. And right now what you'll notice is we have had from this rejection point a pullback to this double bottom previous resistance that we've broken out of. We've back tested this previous resistance and we're now looking to confirm it as support. So for the last 3 days, zooming in here, you can see that we've been holding this key level of support here, looking for continuation of the trend. So I do believe at the moment we are starting to look towards retracing to 0.014. Now there are levels of resistance above that I will zoom into and look at on the smaller time frames to validate the move back up to these 1.4 targets, but right now it's doing everything it needs to from bouncing off of this double bottom support, looking for continuation of the trend. Equally, in my previous videos, I was discussing the fact of a potential ABC back down to our bullish cross, because our bullish cross has formed here for VELO in the last couple of days, and we've back tested this bullish cross for support and we're looking for continuation of the trend. So it's all about taking out this local 0.014 high, because right now we are doing everything we need to in order to see this. We've got the higher lows that we've built up this base over time. We've broken out, ran into a key level of resistance. We're pulling back to this double bottom. We've wicked back to this bullish cross on the daily time frame, a strong signal for a reversal where we're indicating this sort of trend flip where we're starting to reverse this downtrend that we've been in from this 0.028 high. We've built up this base and now we're looking to flip the switch. Okay, and we're doing everything we need to, as long as we can hold this bullish cross support and equally this double bottom resistance that is now also support for the last 3 days that we've been closing above for VELO, then we are good for continuation and are looking to retrace to this 0.014 target. Now if we do start to see VELO come up and break this target in the next couple of days, the next level of resistance for me sits at 0.016. So if we do see continuation off of this support on the bullish cross and the double bottom, the next level of resistance for me would be this 0.016 target, which runs up to this previous level of support the VELO was holding back in April. It held it back in May and also in June, and eventually it lost that support, hit its head on resistance, formed this death cross on the daily, and this is where we lost and had this big correction. So right now from this death cross and where we lost this previous key level of support, because you can see we had some sort of head and shoulders pattern here where we had a topping out pattern, we formed a death cross, we lost it, put in this low down to 0.007, ran up to resistance, came back for a higher low. We've now broken out of that higher low and resistance level and are looking for continuation up to this 0.016, which ties up with the death cross and previous support that will now look to be met as resistance in the near future. So I think this is where it all works in waves. We've had this massive impulsive wave. Right now we've had this large corrective wave. Right now we look like we're building the base for continuation onto the next impulsive move. So it's all about taking out this 0.014 high, holding this previous double bottom resistance as support, which we've been doing for the last few days, and we're getting good relief right now, looking to come up and reach this 0.014 target. So it's all about holding the double bottom neckline the last 3 to 4 days around 0.011 is where we need to hold. 117, 116, hold that, hold this wick low, and we're good for continuation. Okay, so I'm going to look into the smaller time frames for us now, and the double bottom breakout target, if we go from the neckline of resistance to support and the fact that we've broken out, it brings us up to 0.02. So along the way, as I said, we got 0.016, which is this key level of previous resistance, that previous support that we lost, and we could be essentially trying to run back into. But on the way to that, I do think this is where we're trying to get to from the double bottom target to 0.020. So that's my short to midterm target for VELO on the bullish side of things, as long as we can take out the 0.14 high above. Okay, so there's lots of things that need to be validated to confirm this double bottom now, but we are on the right tracks with some contact points and confluence here showing us that we are looking for continuation of the trend. So to validate this, let's look into the 4 hour and see what levels we need to break above on the small time frames to start getting back above this 0.014 high. So at the moment, what it looks like is potentially we've had this A, B, C correction where we looked like we was going to start to roll over on the EMAs here, but we rejected the rollover and are starting to break back above. So what we need to see now is VELO get back above this key level of resistance that was once support. So at the moment, what you'll notice is we've had this wick into the 0.618 on the 4 hour time frame at 0.0129. So we need to break above this golden ratio on the retracement back to this 0.14 high, because failing to do so, we could have had this ABC to support. Right now we've had a dead cat bounce into the golden ratio, and if we start getting rejected here and retracing back down to these lows, then it could indicate we are going to come back for some sort of deeper correction and come back to lower targets before building up the ship to try and go again. So right now we just need to keep our eye on the 4 hour time frame, make sure that we stay above these EMAs, the 20 and the 55, and make sure that we can start closing above 12.962. Because if we keep hitting our heads on this resistance level and failing to break it, it indicates that we are just going to be potentially putting in a lower high and starting to retrace back down to this low that we've came from at 11188. So on the 4 hour time frame, it's all about tackling this 0.0129 in order to get to the 0.014. Again, this ABC that we've just had as well is the key backtest that we've been looking for to this EMA bull cross. So on my Twitter, I've been talking about this bull cross on the daily time frame. We've had the cross, we've backtested it for support in an ABC, and right now we're running back up to the 0.014 high, and we're trying to retrace back to it. But it's all about tackling this 0.618, which is on our heads as resistance right now. So if we see VELO close above 12962, I would look and hold above this as support. I would look for the continuation up to the 1.4 high for a retest. At that point, we'll have to analyze if that comes into play. And albeit said, this ABC could be the low right now, and we could be bouncing off this double bottom support that was previous resistance, looking to run up to the 1.6 range, which is actually the 1.618 as well. So guys, remember, that's a very good point actually. I was saying to you, if we do break out of 1.4, which is our local high, earlier in the video I was saying 0.016 was the next target for us, which is the 0.618 on the larger time frame. So there's some confluence here. If we do take out this 1.4, then 1.6 is my next target, because it's the 1.618 from this local low retracing back to the 1.4 range. And again, if we zoom out, keep this 1.6 range in mind. If we zoom out, going from our local 0.007 low back up to this high, what you'll notice is the 1.618 at 1.644 ties up very closely to the 0.618 at 1.68 from the low at 0.007 back up to the 0.028 high. So I hope this all makes sense. So on the larger time frames, we're going from our 0.007 lows back to the 0.028. The golden ratio from that fib is 168. The 1.618 target from the smaller 4 hour fib, if we break 1.4, is 1.64. So it's fibs within fibs on different time frames, and they all give an idea to a level that I think we're trying to get to. So in my mind, I think 0.016 is where in the short term VELO could be trying to get to if we break out of the 1.4 range. And I hope I'm not being too confusing here, because again, it all works in waveforms, guys, and we have had this sort of A, B, C correction on the smaller time frames. Right now we are seeing good relief, but it's all about taking out this local resistance at 0.013. Let me get this bang on because it's a little bit lower than that. 0.0129. we have to take out this local resistance level in order to see retracement to this 0014. And if we get back above that, then 0.0016 is my next bullish target. And as I've mentioned, failing to do so, if we don't break out of this range and we come up here to a level of resistance and some sort of dead cat bounce where this is a complete wave 1, right here we've got a large wave 2, and then we get a larger wave 3 where we actually sweep this low, that is also a potential play. So we do need to keep our eyes on it, because this could be a large corrective A into a B for a larger C. Okay, and we could be coming back a little bit deeper here. So we'll have to keep our eyes on it here for VELO. I hope you've enjoyed the content and I've not been too confusing today. From Chart Nerd TA, guys, take care. Peace out.